Hey everybody, we're going to talk today about lesson 1.5, which is about special angle pairs. We're going to spend one day going over most of it, and then we're going to spend another day going over mostly vertical angles, which is something we'll talk about at the end of the lesson today. But without any further ado, let's get started. So there are two special types of angles. One is complementary, the other is supplementary. When complementary angles are 90 degrees when they are added together. They add up to 90. Supplementary adds up to 180. When they're adjacent, it means they're touching. Adjacent means touching. And then they make that right angle. Non-adjacent means not touching. So these two angles, even though they're not touching each other, if I knew that this was 45 and this was 45, they would still add up to 90, and that's the important part. They're complementary even though they're not touching each other. And then for supplementary angles, adjacent, so they make a straight line, right? And the adjacent one means you got one here, and together they add up to 180. And then non-adjacent would be the same two angles. Wow, that is not straight at all. But now they're not touching. They are still the same angles, but they'll add up to 180 even though they're not touching each other. And that's the idea. Complementary 90, supplementary 180. So now we want to get this figured down on our notes. The question is, can we name a pair of complementary angles, a pair of supplementary angles, and a pair of adjacent angles? So this is all about combining stuff to figure out what adds up to 180 and what adds up to 90. And it looks like if we add BAC, which is this angle, 32 plus 58 equals 90. So angle BAC, that's the 32 angle, and angle RST, that's the 58 angle, are complementary. Then, if we add the 58 plus 122, so 122 plus 58 equals 180. So, CAD, angle CAD, and angle RST are supplementary. And then adjacent are the angles that are touching each other here. So angle BAC and angle CAD are adjacent. Adjacent, again, in all contexts, adjacent means next to. So we got a couple of examples. If we know that angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary, then we know that they make 90. And so we got these two angles. And if angle 1 is 68, got that right angle in there, can't forget that. Then we're trying to find angle 2, which I'm going to rewrite as x. So x plus 68 equals 90. Or we could just subtract 68 from 90. X equals 22 degrees. And this one's very similar, given that it's a supplement, so they make a straight line. Let's see, get that pencil connected again. If one of the angles is 56, the other one is the unknown, they make a straight line, so they add up to 180. Minus 56, minus 56, x equals 124 degrees. Sorry for rushing through this, but definitely want to have this video up for you to learn from today. Okay, and then in a pair of supplementary angles, we got angle, let's see, BCE. So we got BCE. And that's 4x plus 8. And then ECD is x plus 2, and they want us to find the measure of each angle. So 4x plus 8 plus x plus 2 equals 180 because they make a straight line together. So 5x plus 10 equals 180, minus 10, 5x equals 170, divide by 5, x equals 34, plug it in, 34 plus 2 is 36 degrees. And on this one, 4 times 34 plus 8 is, do the math, suppose it needs to be 144. And there we go. We found both angles by plugging x back in. And we already knew the whole angle was 180 because it makes a straight line. So there are special types of angle pair relationships. A linear pair is two angles, two adjacent angles that add up to 180 degrees. It's basically a straight line with another angle jutting out of it. That is a linear pair. Vertical angles are angles across from each other in an intersection, which makes them congruent. And here's what that looks like. We have an intersection of two lines, and that means the angles on opposite sides are congruent to each other. And we're going to spend a lot more time with that on the next lesson. But for now, a linear pair example before we wrap up for today. We get told that two angles form a linear pair, so we draw our linear pair. We are told one angle is 5 times the measure of the other angle. So if I don't know this angle, the other one's 5 times that, and together they add up to 180. So 5x plus 1x is 6x. Divide by 6 is 30. So this one is 30 degrees, and this one is 5 times 30, which is 150 degrees. Hey, I know that was really fast. I encourage you to rewatch or go back and pick up anything that you missed or pause or do whatever you need to do. You do have a homework assignment on this. I hope it goes well. I hope you're doing okay with this. And please, 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 as always, message me if you have any questions. Thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.